Greetings, fellow outsiders. Welcome back to Phoenix Wright, AceAttorney. We are back in the courtroom today. We finished our investigation last time, and we're gonna see exactly where this case goes. I'm kind of stumped by this one. I have no idea really what's going on. There's a lot more mechanics, so I feel like I'm in over my head with this case. But anyways, let's go ahead and get started. February 24th, 9:41 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby, number 2. So, what do you think, Mr. Wright? I think the prosecution is as confused as we are. After all, the victim was murdered in 2 different places at the same time. And a different suspect was arrested at each of the crime scenes. Lana! Good morning, Mr. Wright. I apologize for yesterday. I was indisposed. I hope they didn't hold you too long for questioning. Oh, we just finished, actually. I'm used to all-nighters, though. So how'd it go? It says Mr. Wright suspects the police are clueless. I figured as much, so I struck a plea bargain. A plea bargain? What do you mean by that? We agreed that if I told them the truth behind this simultaneous murder, they wouldn't see capital punishment. That's what I mean, Emma. But Lana, don't tell me you... Much to my regret, I'm as much in the dark about it as they are. The Sky? We found trace evidence of a certain person in the police department's evidence room. It belonged to Officer Jake Marshall. What kind of trace evidence? Bloodstained fingerprints, to be exact. Huh? That's the trump card I have up my sleeve today. You do understand what this means, don't you? In order to defend my sister, you're gonna accuse Mr. Marshall? We have to play the cards we're dealt. Isn't that right, Miss Sky? Do what you have to do, Mr. Wright. Okay, I will. February 24th, 10 o'clock a.m., District Court, courtroom number 9. Hi, Edgeworth. Court is now in session for the trial of Miss Lana Sky. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution is... I'm afraid you'll have to clarify. It takes 30 minutes by car to reach the police department from the prosecutor's office. Yet the victim, Bruce Goodman, was slain at both places at the same time. Edgeworth, he's just jumping straight into the case. That's not physically possible, is it? What's more, I hear the victim from the evidence room just disappeared. Yes, and the body eventually reappeared in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car. Wow, this is one messed up trial. One of my duties as prosecutor is to present impartial evidence. Today I will present evidence relating to the murder at the police department. In doing so, I believe the way in which we should proceed will reveal itself. Now that's what sets Mr. Edgeworth apart. He sounds so on top of things. Even though he doesn't know what's going on himself. And that's supposed to be an admirable trait. Very well. Let the trial resume. On the day of the crime, what exactly transpired at the police department? Mr. Edgeworth, you may call your first witness at the end of the day to the stand. For its first witness, the prosecution calls the suspect of the murder that occurred at the police department. The suspect? You mean the so-called murderer? Oh boy. Things are getting wild from the get-go. They certainly are. Hi, Meekins. Will the witness please state his name and occupation? Yes, sir. I'm Officer Mike Meekins, sir. My occupation is, that would be murderer, sir. So you're telling us you're a professional killer? Sir, it was me, sir. I'm the one who did it. I'll never kill anyone again, sir. You've got to believe me, sir. Actually, sir, I'm what you call part of the younger generation, sir. A person whose actions adults can't possibly comprehend. Please, Mr. Edgeworth, sir. Please help me, sir. Officer Meekins. Yes, sir. Give us your report of the crime. Consider that an order. Yes, sir, as you wish. After all, I am part of a generation that must be told what to do, sir. You can't fault him for lack of enthusiasm. Certainly not. Or you can't fault him for the lack of the use of the word sir. Well, Although it's not my normal duty, I was assigned to guard the evidence room that day. I spotted a suspicious man on the security screen and rushed into the room. I was only doing what I was trained to do, sir. I was suddenly attacked. I fought for my life, then I did it. After that, I passed out until another officer smacked me awake. So the victim, Detective Goodman, attacked you? Do unto others before they do unto you! That's what MEEKINS' family motto, sir. I see. Then you fainted and a colleague helped you regain consciousness? Yes, sir! He knocked me upside the head, sir. Very well. The defense may begin its cross-examination. What I need here is more info to work with. Which means we're gonna press every statement. Cross-examination. MEEKINS is certainly the most expressive out of any of the people we've gotten so far. Okay, press on each statement. Mr. MEEKINS, you work in the General Affairs Department, do you not? Yes, sir! I am in charge of hiring new recruits, sir. Yikes, now there's a scary thought. Evidence transferal was taking place on the day of the crime, which meant many officers were given special tasks not ordinarily performed. I was in charge of guarding the Blue Badger, sir. Was it by, Gumshoe? The Blue Badger? Yes, sir! The lovely police mascot created by the Chief of Detectives, sir! I was to ensure it wasn't broken during the transferal process. That was my sole mission for the day, sir! I see. Sounds like a very, important mission. After the award ceremony finished that day, there were so many people running around that I relocated the Blue Badger to the evidence room. Oh, so that's why you went into the evidence room? Tell us, what did you see when you got there? I spotted a suspicious man on the security screen. Hold it. In order to enter the evidence room, you need an ID card, am I correct? Precisely, sir. I have one right out here around my neck. So then, your ID number should be listed on here, right? So is Edgeworth's, though. It's written there. There it is! I found it! This is the one right here. Could you please read us the number? Yes, sir! It's 498-9596! That's my number, sir! I see. Huh. But the number 498-9596 is shown being used twice. Ah, please explain, witness. It's no real mystery, sir. The first time is when I relocated the Blue Badger to the evidence room. And the second time is when I went to go get him after everything was settled down. I see, so it was during that second time when... Yes, sir! That's when I spotted the man on the security screen. Data added to the ID card record. Okay, well that gives us a little bit of room from Edgeworth being guilty, although I don't think he is guilty. In any way. Hold it. So you were attacked. Can you please tell us exactly what happened to you? It was a knife, sir! A knife! Detective Goodman pulled a knife on you? What happened then? Well, with me charging in on him like that, he looked as surprised as I was. You aren't exactly the kind of person someone would want to run into. Stop it. That's what I reacted, sir. I swung my arms like an octopus, struggling to detain him. That's how I got this gash on my hand. Maybe if you just kept your cool, your hand wouldn't be... When I saw the blood trickling down my arm, I panicked. I grabbed the man by his collar. I fought for my life! Then I did it! Hold it? What exactly do you mean when you say you did it? Murder? I know I don't look like the type, but I'm really into kung fu films, sir. The man let his guard down for just an instant, so I snatched his knife from him. You took his knife? I spun him around and performed a disarming maneuver. I made sure to close my eyes, like a man. I see. You must have been desperate. The next thing I knew, his white coat was drenched in a sea of blood, and then the next thing I knew... Yes? He punched me right in my face, sir. After that, I passed out until another officer smacked me awake. Hold on. About what time did you regain consciousness? Nothing, sir. But how am I supposed to know that? I was unconscious. Oh, right. According to the report from the officer that woke up the witness, it was about 5:30. Hit me right in the head, too. I woke up crying tears of pain. That's nice. I mean, it's nice that you've recovered, that is. When I came around, though, I made sure to finish my mission, sir. Your mission? Yes, sir, the Blue Badger, sir. I returned him to the entrance before things got out of hand. Well, we can all rest easy now. I believe we now have a fairly accurate picture of what happened. Yes, Your Honor, only one thing remains unclear. Was the man this officer murdered really the victim? He's got a point. Yes, Officer Meekins? With regard to that, sir. Take a look at this. It was sent to my jail cell. Chief Cat delivered it just to me this morning. The chief delivered it? What is that? A videotape? Yes, sir. That's absolutely right, sir. A videotape, sir. It contains footage from the security system in the evidence room. Objection. What? I specifically asked if there was such a tape and was told it had been mistakenly erased. What is going on? They're keeping Edgeworth out of the loop. That's quite a mistake. I just do what I'm told, sir. It's the only thing I'm really good at. Looks like communication with the police department is as good as ever. Well then, let's have a look. Show us the video of you murdering the victim. Oh, please stop using that word murder, sir. It scares me. Video of a real murderer. Just what are we getting ourselves into? Are we actually gonna... What? Oh my god, it's the Blue Badger. Was it the Blue Badger the whole time? Did he do something? Hey. So we don't actually get to see that it's him. At least not yet. Oh no, the Blue Badger. But certainly dressed like him. He's got a costume. There's a piece of paper that slipped out of the locker. Meekins. This is good. Hey, bro! Oh, he has blood all over him from the hand. Do you think he's gonna walk out of here? No, Meekins. Like, realistically, though, he could have crawled underneath the camera. Interesting. Well, I believe we're all thinking the same thing. Can we deal with these unsettling feelings stirred within us? I don't know. I ask myself that question every time I look at Edgeworth. What the hell was that wriggling piece of plywood? Sir, that is the pride and joy of the entire criminal affairs department, sir. It's the Blue Badger, sir. Why am I not surprised this isn't going smoothly? Security videotape added to the court record. Yes, well, anyway, this tape seems to prove that the witness did indeed encounter, someone in the evidence room and some sort of, activity did take place. Your Honor, instead of relying on clearly incomplete footage, the witness's testimony will suffice. Is that all right with you, Officer Meekins? Yes, sir, as you wish, sir. Witness testimony, Mystery Man. His face can't be clearly seen in the video, but there's no question that the other person was Detective Goodman, sir. I mean, he opened the locker, which requires Detective Goodman's fingerprint to do so. If he had a glove from him, would that work, though, in this theoretical case? The locker he opened is unquestionably Detective Goodman's locker, sir. So it must be him. No one else could have unlocked it. What's this about a fingerprint? Each detective has been given a locker equipped with a fingerprint-activated lock. These locks ensure that each locker can only be opened by the detective it belongs to. Intriguing. That would mean the victim at the crime scene would have been Detective Goodman. Very well, the defense may begin its cross-examination. I don't know where this cross-examination will lead, but everything begins with contradictions. That's where I have to start. Thank you for reminding me, Wright. Cross-examination of the mystery man. I like his little pondering look that Meekins has right now. His face can't be clearly seen in the video, and why not? Tell me, were you able to get a good look at him? At the face of the man who attacked you with a knife? Sir, if you must label people as having seen or not seen the man's face, I believe I would be classified as the latter. The latter? But you were... But you were standing right in front of him, were you not? More to the point, you are the person who fought him, aren't you? Oh, yes, sir. But I didn't get a clear look at his face, sir. I'm not the kind of guy who looks directly at people when talking with them, you see. Yeah, that's a good trait for a police officer. Still, I'm sure it was him. I bet my badge on it. Don't do that quite yet, Meekins. We still have mysteries to uncover. What about this? But you don't know that for sure, do you? You never actually saw Detective Goodman's face? Well, I suppose you might say that. That is, if you must label people as having seen or not seen it. Since his face can't be identified in the video, only you can verify it. What? Why is everyone looking at me? If I had to label your stares as disturbing or... Meekins? Having been shown a questionable video at best, we are not in the best of moods. Now please be more certain when you testify. Yes, sir. You claimed the man who brandished a knife on you was Bruce Goodman. Tell us why you are positive it was him. I mean, he opened the locker, which required Detective Goodman's fingerprint to do. Hold it. About these lockers, is there no other way to open them? No, sir. I myself tried all kinds of methods in the past. They only respond to registered fingerprints, sir. I wonder what kind of methods he's tried. If the man opened the lock, which only responds to its registered fingerprints, then he must be the person the locker was assigned to. Exactly my point, sir. And this, too. The locker he opened is unquestionably Detective Goodman's locker, sir. Hold it. How do you know that information? I've heard rumors, sir, from people in the know, sir. People in the know? The workers in the department cafeteria, sir. They keep me informed. They also listen to my romantic troubles, sir. For the record, the open locker did indeed belong to Detective Goodman. I verified this information through a more reliable source. So the victim opened the locker with his own fingerprint. So it must be him. No one else could have unlocked it. Hold it. However, the most important detail is not shown in this video. The man's face. Sir, if I may say something, sir. Please do. After all, you are the one being examined. I don't understand why the man's face is so important in this case, sir. I mean, it was his hand that opened the fingerprint lock. And it was his hand that tried to thrust his knife into my body, sir. My unsettled state can testify enough to this, sir. Yes, you have a point. The footage doesn't lie. That is, unless the defense can find a problem with it. Mr. Wright, let's check the court record again. Is there a problem with the security video? There's a problem. Sure. Regarding this video that contained this tape, there is one thing in particular that seems rather strange. Strange? This contradiction leads to the possibility that man may not have been Detective Goodman. What? This video contains such a contradiction? Interesting. Your Honor, I have a proposal. From me? Yes, Mr. Edgeworth? I propose we have the defense point out this alleged contradiction in the video. You would want me to point it out. Very well, proposal accepted. Let's further inspect this piece of evidence. I will now play the security tape. Mr. Wright, please show us the contradiction you speak of. I have to point out a problem in the video? That's the first time I've ever had to do that. You can do it, Mr. Wright. I set it up for you so that you can fast forward, rewind, or pause the video. Just take a good look and be sure to point out the right thing. Please don't play it too many times. I can't stand watching this video. How did this guy ever become a police officer? Now that Mr. Wright, please enlighten us. Where's the contradiction that indicates the man? Okay, you just moved. Is it the paper? There's a paper that fell out. That's the one thing I noticed. Can I actually? How do I pause? Backspace? Pause. Glove! Take that! Take that! Was I right? The thing that's strange about this video has got to be this. This feels wrong. Yes, that is strange. Something certainly seems unnatural about that. What could it mean? Sorry to interrupt, Mr. Wright. But you seem to have forgotten the point of this exercise. The point? What you are looking for is one thing and one thing only. Something that indicates the man may not be Detective Goodman. Oh, yeah. Phew, I almost walked right into the defense's trap. I'll place him under arrest, sir! Rats! I need to slow down and tackle these things one piece at a time. Now what do I do? Play the video again? Play the video again, of course. There's gotta be something in here. Just remember one thing, Mr. Wright. Every time you point your finger, someone gets hurt. Says the one pointing his finger at us. I will now play the security tape. Mr. Wright, please show us the contradiction you speak of. Oh, is it the light? Oh, it's lit. It's lit up in here in the police department. The thing that's strange about this video has got to be this. Okay, wait, this feels wrong. Officer Meekins? Sir, do you mean me, sir? As I understand it, the locker apparatus works like this. When you grab the handle, a sensor reads your fingerprint, and if it's a match, the light turns and the lock is released. According to my very limited experience, that is the way I understand it, sir. If so, then something is seriously wrong with this picture. We've seen too much of this blue badger. See, the light is on the top. Oh, do I have to click it again? No? I like the 3D. This is like our first time getting like this 3D video of him. I like it. And the victim reaches for the handle to open the locker. Let's rewind it to a little earlier. How much? How many times are we gonna see this blue badger? Oh my god, he's moonwalking. Bam! That's what I said. Here, notice the light? What's this? It's already lit. Yeah, Judge, you're so right! Precisely my point, Your Honor. The locker was already open before the victim grabbed the handle! Ah! Did he just scream? I guess I did too. Order, what's the meaning of this? It's very simple, Your Honor. The locker wasn't locked on the day of the crime. But the locker locks are controlled by an electronic system. When a door is shut, a sensor is triggered, and the locker is automatically locked. Oh, I know, it must have broken down. Of course, I'm not an expert in this. It's not likely, Your Honor. The sensor would detect and report any malfunction. Oh, well, it just goes to show novices should keep their mouths shut. So then, Mr. Wright, do you have an explanation? Me, Your Honor. Yes, why wasn't the locker locked? Me, Your Honor? Yes, well, you see, this isn't exactly, my field. What do you think, Miss Scientific Investigator? Huh? Oh, maybe something like jam the system sensor? Something. Jammed the system sensor, say? There's something else that seems out of place in this video. Yeah, I thought so too. There's gotta be another clue somewhere in this footage. Very well, let's inspect the video once more. The locker wasn't locked. Mr. Wright, please point out. Is it the... Wait, hold on. Is it... Is it gonna be the glove this time? Was it like jamming the locker? Ah, no, stop! No! Go back, wait, go back. The thing that's strange would be this. I don't get it. I know, I'm sorry. Here we go. Here we go! Right there. It's a glove! Please, watch closely. This is the continuation of the part I showed you earlier. The music has stopped now. It's so ominous. And quiet. And weird. Oh my god. The thing we've seen 10 times. What's this? Something white fell out of the locker. But, sir, it's been my experience that things fall out when doors are open. I often fall out and roll great distances. We can't be sure. That item was completely inside the locker to begin with. What do you mean? The sensor triggers the lock when the door is shut. But if something was inserted, say, between the sensor and the door. Inserted? What does that mean? I love that we have to watch this animation like 6 times. More than that because I've messed up the cross-examination. Bam! It fell again. So my thing wasn't inside the locker. It was stuck between the door and the sensor. Oh, I understand now, sir. Just like my tie. 2 out of 3 times it gets stuck in the door when I get out of my patrol vehicle, sir. Instead of the door closing, my tie chokes me. But the object would have to be extremely thin to fit in the door. Not only that, it would also have to block the electrical currents. It would need to be an insulator. Yes, an insulator. At the crime scene. There just might have been something that fits the description. But, sir, by insulator, do you mean? I think I finally got this figured out. Very well. Will the defense please present the relevant evidence? What was this insulator that was stuck to the locker door? The glove. You could clearly see it was a glove, right? Take that! I found this near the locker, a thin rubber glove. But we can't be sure that's what that was in the victim's locker. We literally see it falling out in the video. But it has a tag that says SL9 incident. The video seems to depict the victim opening the locker. But that isn't the case. The lamp attests to this. On the day of the crime, even I could have opened that locker. Is that not so, Officer Meekins? Sir! It would appear so, sir! Order, order, order! So, are we to believe then that the victim, whom this witness stabbed in the evidence room, was not Detective Goodman? Do not be misled, Your Honor. What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? The defense has merely demonstrated that possibility and nothing more. The victim in the video was indeed Bruce Goodman. The prosecution will offer one more testimony to prove this. What? Officer Meekins, please testify about this. Sir, me, sir. I'm not sure what you're referring to, sir. Oh, you mean that, sir? Of course, sir. Is this a joke? Very well, begin your testimony. Witness testimony, Mystery Man 2. There's one other thing that proves that man was Detective Goodman, sir. To enter the evidence room, one must use their ID card. When an ID card is used, there's a record of it. At the time of the crime, the detective had used this card. An ID card record? I see. I have the ID card record right here, Your Honor. Who is the first one? Is that the guest card? The ID used at 5:14. That is the victim. Just before the crime, Yes, without a doubt, this is the victim's ID. However, one thing that does strike me as unusual, several hundred cases should have been due for transferal. Why are there so few people using this room? This particular evidence room is only used for storing certain special cases. Special cases? Extremely violent cases involving police staff. Just hearing that makes my hair stand on end. Me too, although it doesn't make much of a difference. There were only a few cases up for transferal there, and most were cleared up by noon. Right, I see. Now let's move on to cross-examination. Cross-examination! Okay. We have to press. Do. So, unlike your earlier testimony, you believe this to be rock solid, do you? Yes, sir! Solid as stone, sir! If my hand wasn't wrapped in bandages, I'd even get the V for victory sign, sir! Could he just be using his right hand for that? Let's hear him out fully. As we've seen, one never knows what he might say until the very last second. Is that a hint that I have to press on the last one? Do I have evidence for him for this time? The other thing is, like, Edgeworth was supposed to be at the parking lot at a certain time. Okay, wait, I'm just gonna go back. I'm gonna press on the statements because that's a good first step, and then we'll look at the evidence afterwards. Is that card hanging from your neck one of those ID cards? Yes, sir. This card right next to my cuff, sir. I keep it here so I won't ever forget it. But what if someone were to steal it from you, keeping it out in the open like that? Maybe I shouldn't wear it around my neck. Remember what I said? 2 out of 3 times, my tie gets stuck when I get out of my car. Well, the remaining time it's my ID card that gets stuck. Instead of the door closing, my ID chokes me. Maybe I should just leave this one alone. At any rate, each police officer has only one ID card. Both the police department and the prosecutor's office can attest to this. Please proceed with your testimony. When an ID card used, there's a record of it. Let it be noted that this is the record the witness referred to. Let me see. Yes, that would be it. Detective Goodman? What's the matter? According to this, Mr. Edgeworth, your name is on here. So it is, Your Honor. Not that prosecutor again. And maybe he's behind all this. Being a prosecutor, he could hide the evidence. Mommy, is that man in blue a murderer? Shh, don't stare at him. Me? You've got the wrong color, kid. It would seem. The inquiry committee will want to speak with you again today. I have nothing to be ashamed of regarding my actions or their consequences. For now, let us continue with the cross-examination. Poor Mr. Edgeworth. It must be so difficult for him. At the time of the crime, the detective had used this card. Hold it. Earlier, I believe you testified that when you asked the man to show his ID card, he pulled a knife on you. Yes, sir. He didn't show me any ID card, sir. Don't you think that's odd? I mean, if he had his ID card, all he had to do was show it to you. There wouldn't be any reason to draw a knife. But maybe he just panicked? Everything stems from contradictions. Let's point them out. Mr. Wright, what do you think? I'm confused. What? The problem with this ID card testimony is far too obvious. It's not like Edgeworth to miss something like this. You're thinking too hard about it. Come on, let's show him what we got. Okay, it's evidence time, I think. Oh, Goodman was submitting a lost item report. Maybe I can present this and argue he lost his ID. Wait one moment, Officer Meekins. If that's your real name. I'm not good at waiting, sir. I have the victim's ID card right here. I found it at the crime scene. That makes sense. Nuh-uh. When I say crime scene, I'm not referring to the evidence room at the police department. I mean the other crime scene. The underground parking lot at the prosecutor's office. Your Honor, I have one more piece of evidence to present. It's a very important clue regarding the victim's ID card. Lost item report? It's only half completed. But it shows that Detective Goodman has lost something the day of the crime. Something important enough to fill out this report. Let me guess, you believe this something to be his ID card, right? I can't say for sure, but there is a high possibility. On the day of the crime, Detective Goodman was not carrying his card. Order, order! So now what does all this mean? It can only mean one thing. It doesn't even require much thought. The man Officer Meekins encountered in the evidence room was not Detective Goodman, but rather the man who stole his ID card. Order, order, order! Does the prosecution have a response? I have only one thing to say to the defense. I love you. Bravo, Mr. Wright. But bravo. Allow me to summarize the defense's argument. At 5:15 p.m. on the day of the crime, the man in the evidence room Officer Meekins encountered was not Detective Goodman. There are two grounds to support this. First, the locker in the evidence room was already unlocked. Second, the victim lost his ID card. Am I correct so far, Mr. Wright? Yes. What's he up to? That being the case, we must inevitably arrive at a single conclusion. If the victim in this video is a fake, then the murder in the evidence room is also fake. In other words, the security camera does not show the instance of the murder. That is... Well, I guess that's right. Is something wrong, Mr. Wright? Only moments ago, you seemed content to be pointing your finger around. This isn't going to end well. Just. Well, it seems you finally realized exactly what you've gone to such lengths to prove. Explain yourself, Mr. Edgeworth. The defense has already done the explaining for me. The victim in this video is fake, which means a murder did not take place at the police department at 5:15 on the day of the crime. So the real crime could only take place at one location, the underground parking lot. At the prosecutor's office, the murderer being Miss Lana Skye, the defendant. The evidence is compelling. A trustworthy witness. Observe the moment the defendant used the murder weapon. Oh, no! Edgeworth, how dare you? I knew that testimony was way too shabby. It was all a trap from the beginning. The activity in the room still leaves many questions unanswered. Who exactly was the victim Officer Meekins encountered, and where did this person disappear to? However, this trial's purpose is to examine only the murder of Detective Goodman. Just so, Your Honor. Mr. Wright, you have to do something or else Lana... What do I do? How am I supposed to get myself out of this mess? Object! Sure, why not? One moment, Your Honor. What now, Mr. Wright? Don't tell me you're objecting to what you've just proven. Of course not. But I almost walked right into the prosecution's trap. What are you talking about? This cross-examination has proven one thing and one thing only. The security video did not show the actual murder. It's so quiet. Do I have to click through this? Also, there was blood on 2 different lockers, and there's not blood on these lockers right now. However, it can not be said that this is unrelated to the murder in the parking lot. See, that's what I'm saying! Specifically, large amount of blood traces were found in the evidence room. The defense demands further examination into the truth of the matter. Mr. Edgeworth. Yes, Your Honor. If this court were to examine this further, other witnesses will be necessary. Is the prosecution prepared? I'm sorry, Your Honor. The prosecution considered the incident at the police department to be unrelated. We have not prepared another witness for this incident. This just might be my chance. Time to call a certain Texas Ranger to the stand. Mr. Wright, do you mean... Your Honor, the defense would like to request a specific witness. Oh? Whom do you have in mind? Someone we have reason to believe that knows the truth. The truth behind the activities that took place in the evidence room. The prosecution requests to hear this person's name before deciding whether or not to comply. Very well then, Mr. Wright. This person whom you would have testify, what is his or her name? We have to call... Where is he? This guy, Jake Marshall. Present. Take that. Officer, Jake Marshall. Why him? I can't let Edgeworth know everything just yet. He's in charge of the evidence room. I feel like we should hear what he has to say. The prosecution agrees to the defense's request. Since he was responsible for guarding the room, we should hear his testimony. Fortunately, he works in the police department. We shouldn't need longer than 20 minutes to prepare. Very well. The court will take a 30-minute recess while a witness is subpoenaed. Will the prosecution please prepare the witness during this time? We will, Your Honor. Court is now in recess. Yay! Hi. February 24th, 11:32 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 2. There's no stopping you, is there, Mr. Wright? Huh? What do you mean? You called for Jake Marshall. It seems you've figured everything out. I haven't figured anything out. Lana, you're the one who knows everything. Emma, you always know everything. Why don't you just tell us? Mr. Wright is trying his hardest to protect you. I don't recall ever asking for his protection. How can you be so cold? Don't you trust us? Don't you trust me? Hope I'm not interrupted anything, pals. Oh, yes I am. I'll come back later. Wait, Detective Gumshoe, what is it? Hi. You got a lot of nerve, pal, making a detective run around while on duty. And on top of it, you call me here? I've seen happier people at funerals. Sorry, Detective. You better be, pal. Hey, 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 hey! I didn't see you there, Chief Prosecutor Sky. That's okay, so have you brought what I asked? Oh. You mean this, right? My apologies, Detective. Due to my present circumstances, I was forced to use Mr. Wright's name when making my request. My name? Never in a million years would I have thought it was you who asked me. Did I bother you to bring the SL9 incident files? I'll need them by noon. Talk about crazy. The SL9 incident? But Lana, that's... I thought Mr. Wright might need them, so I had them brought here. Here, you might do well to read them. I can't believe you, the chief prosecutor, were a witness in that case. Miss Sky was a witness? SL9 incident files received from Lana Sky. Joe Dark killings solved 2 years ago. I take it from me you don't want anything to do with serial murderers. Oh, what? Now that I brought you your stuff, you're just gonna ignore me? Emma, but why? Why is your name in here? What? My name's in there? I don't know, unless... No, it couldn't be Lana. This SL9 incident, is that a... That's the classification number the police filed it under. 2 years ago, the rest of the world knew it as the Joe Dark killings. The Joe Dark? No, Lana! That's over with, no! Emma, wait, she ran away. You know what, I just remembered I gotta be somewhere. Sorry, pal, but I'm out of here. Jake Marshall, Angel Star, Damon Gant, Miles Edgeworth. Not to mention Lana and Emma. Everyone involved in this case is connected to those killings 2 years ago. This can't just be a coincidence. Knowing you just might be able to figure it out. Time to get back to the trial, Mr. Wright. Best of luck. I'd better take a good look at this file. To be continued. Are we gonna get the little... No? There we go. Alright. And that's gonna do it for this episode of Phoenix Wright AceAttorney. We'll pick up with the trial next time. Hopefully learn more about the SL9 incident. All of these incidents that seem to be connected to Edgeworth. Edgeworth is actually the protagonist, isn't he? Sorry, I just like Edgeworth. But I hope you guys are enjoying this. As always, if you are, be sure to leave a like and let me know in the comments. But on that note, I'm going to say farewell, friends. Thank you so much for being here. Remember, we're not alone out there, and I'll see you in the next episode of Phoenix Wright AceAttorney Trilogy. Bye-bye.